Hello, viewer, and welcome back to Games with Dialogue. This is episode 49 of my RPG Maker series. Last time I started working on a big maze-like dungeon to end the desert region on. This episode I'm going to continue doing that, so let's dive in. Well, as you can see, I copied what I was doing with the pyramid and made some alterations. I was trying to just plot out how this was going to work, give myself some ideas. I'm happy with a few things on here. The way this weaves through this little treasure room here at the end, which is separate from the final room you want, which I decided to put in the center just for aesthetic reasons. Let's see what else. I do enjoy the way this wraps around. What I'm thinking is that on this one, I will put it on the third floor and have the final stairs down wrap around like a circle before you go down to floor 2. But I wound up putting it here, and it actually goes up to the third floor. Which I have a stair here, and I didn't wrap this up. I'm not happy with the way this test pyramid looks, just because I wind up going up and over around the top and then down, and that's not what I wanted to do. But if I put the boss room in the center of the pyramid, that's what I'm going to wind up doing, unless I have this tunnel, or this part of the maze, run up, go up to the second floor, and then do whatever I want. Have it double back and come down this way and around and over. So yeah, I don't want it to run up, around, and then down like it's running clockwise, but I didn't leave myself much room if I'm going to stick the boss room in the center. So, I don't know. I've been juggling with it, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I might stick with this, because I am kind of happy with it. I spent time on it. I mean, the stairs come up here, and then you can come down. Oh, wait. They come up here, then you can go down. Oh, no, this goes to the third floor. Sorry, I have to remember which floor this is when I'm looking at the stairs. This goes up here, which goes to these stairs, and this set of stairs in the upper corner goes to a dead end. I wanted more of those. I think I have 2 in here only. But, anyways, the other set of stairs comes down here, which is a dead end here, and then runs over this way. And then on the bottom floor, it runs back. And that's what I'm talking about, doubling back. It runs back this way and then around and up to here. And then it's just a straight shot to this one. I didn't want to get fancy with it. What I wanted to do, really, was run it down and then over this way. Well, I mean, this was here already, but down and over this way. But I'm leaving the center open because the third floor will lead down, and then the second floor will lead down to here. That's just how it's going to go. So, I'm kind of stuck. I know what I want to avoid doing the same thing again. But that's what I've been working on. That's what I have. So I'm going to delete, well, not delete, but I'm going to wipe this out here and start over. What I'll probably do, I'm also going to do this. What I'll probably do is put it where it was that I just had it, but move it over a little. What I want to start with is the stairs, actually, so I have a better idea, because I want the stairs to run up, and I can use this as like a little antechamber before you walk into the boss's room. So let me see here. Stairs coming down. So we'll do right here. No, hold on. What's on the floor above this one? 23, 23. Oh, yeah, that's why it's not going to work. Because 23, 23 is right in the wall there. That's great. I messed it up for myself, didn't I? So that'll have to be a separate thing. I guess I could make this a treasure room before the boss room. Put like 3 treasure chests like I had over here, but put it over here so that the maze runs down along the wall here and then down into this room. All right. Well, okay. Maybe I could put the antechamber here and then you walk over and into the boss room. What's right here? 1120? 1120. And it's in a good spot for it. So it's a little complicated how I want to make the boss room. What I want, all told, is to have a big kind of ostentatious throne room, but not throne room, tomb, burial chamber. The problem is because it's bottom floor and I'm using 2 squares. Oops, I missed this. Since I've got 2 squares here, the room kind of gets taken up. The further I push back this wall, the less room there is for the maze. I want the antechamber. I mean, I don't want them to just be able to walk in here. They have to approach the room. But I also I want the player. I guess as soon as they step off, they can walk. I can have the event force them to walk over here and up. I wanted another room before the stairs. I don't know if you noticed that I set up this here. I figured this was the halfway mark, so this is where a save and rest and recover point would be before they go on to the rest of the level. I'm debating, because then they come down here and then they come down here and that leads to here. I'm debating whether or not to put the rest and recovery over here, because I think that's closer to halfway. That got me thinking about how the players might be in over their head by the time they're halfway through. They might be out of tools that they need. They might be out of resources. They might not be strong enough to make it to the center, to the boss. Even if they get to the boss, how do I get them out without forcing them to backtrack to the whole thing? So that got me thinking, who could sell a... no, I don't want that there. I want it right there. What can I do about getting the player out? I don't want to build a spell. I came up with the idea that Corden could sell 1 escape item at a time, 1 at a time. You use it, you have to go back to him to buy another one. But it could be like an escape rope. It could be it doesn't matter what I call it. It could be anything, really. But it could be used to escape dungeons. So I will expect the player to have 1, because when you come, as soon as you come to him and look at what he has to sell, he's got a unique item that you've never seen before. I expect the player would buy it. They'd have 1 here. So if they reach the center... Oh, that's what I was going to do. Yeah, I got distracted by the sound of my own voice. When they reach the center, if they don't think they can continue, they can use it to escape the dungeon and try again. Or go and level up and try again. At this point, if they've been struggling just to make it halfway, they can escape. If they haven't, if they think they can push on, I'm not going to force the item to escape the dungeon to only be used at the save point. They can use it wherever, but the halfway marker, this rest point, is a good indicator of whether or not you're capable of to keep going. I think. That's how we would mark that. Okay, so there's over here, and then I'm going to put this here, 918, the floor 2. 918's right there. 918. I actually want it to go this way. Okay. So I want to avoid wrapping around like a clock. Let's see if I can't... Well, I have to separate this. I have to separate this, because I don't want This will lead downstairs to the boss room. Well, do I want it to come down? I mean, it can't come down. It'll go right into the boss room if I do that. I do want to put a few more stairs before the end where it can go floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, or it can go floor 1, floor 2, back down to floor 1, up to floor 2 again. But for this one, we'll just go up to floor 3. So what is that? 16, 14? So let's find 16, 14 right there. Okay. We can leave this space open for use with 2. Ooh, how am I going to do that? I could run up this way and then over. But then if I do that, floor 2 has to come down to floor 1, back up to floor 2 to get back over this way so we can run up to floor 3 and make use of this room. All right, well, if I double back on 3, if I just go back this way, I have to avoid 13. I have to get it above 10. Yeah, okay. I'll double back on floor 3. So what do I want to do here? I haven't actually done a room like this yet. It's so hard for me to picture the walls without actually having to build it like that. No, I don't want to do that. I actually don't want to do that. Hold on. Let me undo that and then do that. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'd rather... Okay, so they'll come down this way, and then... That's a problem. Yeah, okay. Well, I wanted it to be a solid block down here, but I also didn't want them to... Okay, alright. So this is 16. We need to get up to 10. So they'll come up and around this way. If I put another wall there... Oh, no. Nope, too far. I want it to squeeze like that. Okay. No, I don't want... I put the floor in the wrong spot. I want it to come here, but then I can put this there. There we go. So they come up and around, and then we're at 4, 9. If I send them back down to floor 2, 4, 9's right there. 6, 13... is right there. All right, that's not going to work. 4, 9. And then how much of... I have to get it over... Wow, see now... I'm doing clockwork again. It's so insidious. How easy it is just to do that. All right, let's assume floor 3, this part runs further. Do I want it to go up? Do I want it to go over? Or do I want to go down to floor 2 and then go over to the right? If I run it up to the ceiling, I can come down and over. I'm still going clockwise. I wanted it to run back. What am I going to do with 3, 9? Am I going to go up? Or am I going to go back to the right? What I could do, I could make this a treasure room and run floor 2 up to floor 3. All right, let's plan on doing that. Floor 3, where do I want that staircase? I'll put it up here in the corner, 6, 2. So we want 6, 2. Okay. And then we want to go down to the first floor. Where do we want the first floor to be? Right here? Then there's this whole open space here that we won't use. Am I able to get a kind of maze-like thing to wrap up and around? No, probably not. This is probably just wasted space, I'm thinking. That'll lead down to floor 1, but we also want a piece of stairs that will lead back up to floor 3. what are we going to do with floor 3? I'll worry about that in a second. Let's put out the red carpet, I think. I'm going to come back through here and fill some of these rooms with red carpet. I think breaking up the monotony of the gray floor would be helpful. What I also want to do is fill the pyramid with traps, but I don't think that's actually going to happen. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it's going to work for me. So probably not going to do that. Yeah, all right, that's kind of better. Kind of slightly better. Now that I'm looking at it, I actually want... There we go. That's pointless too, but at least it's a little more structured. There's a room here, blah, 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 and I can make use of this. Great. So the skill shrine is where I'm going to introduce traps. That was where I was planning on having most of the traps go. It's called the skill shrine for a reason, but using those traps early in this dungeon doesn't make sense. Well, it could make sense, but the problem is the way the floor plan's structured, you can't avoid a lot of traps. So where do I want the stairs to the 3rd floor to be? Right here? 13, 11? I don't think that's going to work. No, 13 and 11's right there. I mean, I could get rid of it. It's just extra block right now. Sure, okay, we'll put that there. So it comes up this way. And 13, 11 will go up this way. Okay. Good. Got rid of it. Excellent. Okay. So it'll come out this way. There's nothing down here. And see, this is where I could put a trap if I was so inclined. As soon as the player walks into this part of the hallway, they get attacked by something at the other end, and there's nothing over here for them, so it was completely pointless. It's a bit cruel, a bit unnecessary. Again, I think I'm just going to leave most of the traps out. I might put some spiked floor or some damaging floors, but that will be the extent of the traps until we get to the skill shrine, and then we'll have a whole bunch of new ways to trick and torture the player. Yeah, I'll leave this whole space for the descent to the boss room. So this will run over here, come down to floor 2, floor 1. Floor 1 will wrap around, back up to 2, back up to 3. Or we don't even have to go back up to 3. We can go to 2 and then down to 1 again. Yeah, all right. So this will just wrap us over here, I think. Still want to keep it interesting though. Do I want floor 2 to be the one that descends or floor 3? I think floor 2. What I'll do with floor 2 is have... No, because this takes me down to floor 1 in the boss room. 3214 will come down and put stairs... Put the stairs here. 3214, right there. Good. Okay. Excellent. Perfect. Great. Fantastic. Now what? I want to run it up, I think. What about Pyramid 1? If we run it... If they start up here in the corner, I can run it over this way to the left, or I can run it down. Running it down is a risk, because I've got nothing over here that can bring it, that it can go up to. But I mean, I've already made long, winding hallways the hallmark of the bottom floor, so I don't see a problem with putting the stairs up here in the corner, running it down, like I've done with this one, running it down and around and up, except that it's a repeat of this one. I don't want to do that. All right, well, floor 2. What if I have floor 2 run up to floor... No, because I've already done that. Okay, I jumped ahead. I finished up on the ground floor. I also redid the boss room a little bit. Just a little. But now there's treasure rooms as well as some scattered treasure around. One for each floor, really. As well as this room up here, I'm thinking what I want to do is have each of these columns have an event with a switch on it, which unlocks the stairwells here. Before you reach that point, trying to access the stairwells will give the player a message like, example, a mysterious force blocks or bars your way. Then you hit the switch, you can go back to them. This big thing here, I'm assuming players, if they have trouble getting to the middle, to the save point here, they're gonna grind. They're gonna grind and grind and grind until they're capable of making it to the boss room. Even then, the players have no gauge of how big this dungeon is. So they might just grind and grind and grind until everything in the dungeon can be one shot. That's definitely not my intention, but at the same time, if a player wants to play that way, I'm not going to stop them. Anyways, so I've got the floors all set up except the final part, which I'm going to work on now, and then we'll end the episode there. For now, this is floor 3, so it's going down. I'll put that one... Can I put it right there? 2613? 2613 would be right there. I could. I think I will. Yeah. So we want this right there. 2613. Just want to make sure. Okay. So that spot we can replace. Now, how do I want to... You know what? I never got enough room to do the spiral. It's a small loss. I suppose I could keep that in mind when I'm building the next big dungeon. I didn't get my spiral here, so I might do it there. 2613, right there. All right. They come down. I could make it a little confusing here. That's the final staircase before the boss room. All right, well, I guess that's it then. They come up, they come over, they come down. I wish I had enough room to make them have to backtrack a little up over, backtrack a little up and over, but there's just not enough room here. So that's it. Then down into the boss room, and Bob's your uncle. All right. Cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some damage floors in a couple of locations, but I don't know. This green stuff I used for the battle shrine. I don't want to reuse it here. What else can we get? There's lava, which doesn't make any sense. Magma, I guess. I could have an ice floor. Also makes no sense in the pyramid, in the desert. Some miasma. No, that's not miasma. This is miasma. I guess I could do that. That's more of a swamp thing, though. I was going to leave that for a different dungeon, a different location. This pink goo, I suppose, but it doesn't really fit the motif. What is this? Just something. You know what I'm going to do? There is a vent I can set up that is spiked floor. Let me see if I can't find it. New image. Where is it? Down here under other? Yeah, the spike floor here. If I do it this way, then I can set it up so that the spikes not rotate. What am I thinking? The spikes can rotate through this animation based on the player's steps. So if they time it right, they can step on the holes, look, and then when they move off the hole, the spikes rise up. And then if they time their walking right, they can get past it without hurting themselves. Or if they're an impatient gamer, impatient player, they can just walk right over the damage and take it and say, whatever, no big deal. So I want it to auto run, I think, or parallel. I think parallel, if I recall correctly, parallel is it runs cyclically while the event is present. So that's what I want. It'll keep going while the player moves around. That's what I want. So I put one here at the entrance. The player can walk over it or walk around it. I'll probably have another one right here next to it. Actually, hold on. I don't need to do that. I can just copy, paste. There we go. Good. And from here, I can just make whatever spikes I want. I can put them wherever I want. And I can put them down the narrow hallways, and the player... Some of these narrow hallways, the player will have to time their steps. Like over here, by this treasure chest. I could just put a bunch. And then force the player to time their steps through to get to the treasure chest. Cool. All right. So next episode, I will plan on putting enemies in the dungeon, as well as a boss, and filling up the treasure chests with items and equipment and gold. That's the plan. So I'll end it. I'll end the episode here and work on this in between the gap. And then I will see you next episode. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Until then, stay safe and God bless you.